It began as an unremarkable evening. The clock on my bedside table chimed 10 times, my tea was gone cold, and the soft hum of the street lamp outside lulled me into a sense of calm. I settled beneath my quilt and closed my eyes, the day's worries drifting away like fading mist. Yet in that quiet, a voice stirred somewhere beneath the planks of my bedroom floorboards. So faint, I thought I imagined it at first. I shifted, pulling the covers tighter, then exhaled slowly as the sound receded into silence. Night after night, the same gentle susurration returned, teasing the edge of perception as though the darkness itself were coaxing me to listen deeper. At first, I chalked it up to my restless imagination, the creaks and groans of an old house settling under the moon. But then, the voice began to speak. It spoke in a tone devoid of flesh and bone, a timbre as smooth as polished stone, yet fractured by something ancient and unknowable. A single word, repeated in a slow, deliberate cadence. Wondering, wanting, waiting. I told myself it was the wind. I told myself I was tired. But each time my head hit the pillow, I felt its presence coil beneath the bed frame like a living thing, coaxing me to lean in closer, to believe in its existence. Listen. The first time I heard it clearly, I froze. The whisper had slipped through the floorboards, curling around my ankles like a wisp of smoke. My heart hammered in my chest as I stared at the dark hollow between the mattress and the floor, half expecting, hoping, to glimpse something solid, to dispel the fear. But there was nothing. Only the echo of that single, fractured utterance lingering in the air. Each night the anomaly deepened. Objects shifted on their own. My glasses turned face down beside my book, a single sock draped over the footboard, the lamp's shade tilted as though nudged by invisible fingers. My dreams grew restless, dappled with unnameable shapes, voices calling from the darkness, light sputtering at the edge of awareness. I began leaving candles burning, their flickering halos chasing away the shadows, but the voice was impervious. It thrived in the places light could not reach. I confessed my fears to no one. Who would believe me? The rational modern mind? I was alone with this spectral whisperer, responsible for its mounting power. As the nights wore on, the voice changed its refrain, shifting from a single word to fragments of sentences. Why won't you see me? I've been here. Don't leave me alone. Each phrase was delivered in that hollow, resonant tone, closer now, seeping through the board cracks to caress my ankles with a promise of revelation or ruin. My waking hours blurred into the nights. I found myself drawn to the bed's edge at odd moments, heart thudding as I knelt to peer beneath the frame. I reached out a trembling hand, desperate for proof, and felt only cold floorboards. Yet the second my palm touched wood, I heard it again. A whisper, directly in my ear, as though the voice had risen up from the shadows. I recoiled, scrambling back into bed, my pulse raging. In the days that followed, the presence grew bolder. The voice no longer waited for darkness. It murmured at all hours, a low vibration beneath the surface of normalcy. I would be working at my desk when I'd catch it, drifting through the floor, prompting me to stop and listen. I nearly dropped my mug once when it breathed out my name, as though it had stood behind me, watching me in the daylight. I became obsessed with discovering its origin. I probed every inch of the room, tapping the boards, checking for loose planks, even crawling under the bed with a flashlight. Nothing. The space was empty, save for dust bunnies and the faint outline of where my husband's old hockey stick used to rest. Still, the voice thrived. It thrived on uncertainty, feeding on my need for answers. Then came the crescendo. One night, the whispers roared in my mind, echoing so loud I thought my skull would shatter. I clutched at the quilt, my teeth chattering as it spoke, not in fragments but in full sentences. I am here. You belong to me. The words reverberated beneath the boards, through my bones, until I felt as though I were dissolving into the floor itself. In a panic, I yanked the quilt aside and slid from the bed, standing on the floorboards with bare feet. The room was cold. The candle flames stretched upward like pleading hands. I dropped to my knees and stared into the shadowed void beneath the slats. There it was, or rather, beyond where it should have been, the pure absence of form. A gulf so dark, it devoured the feeble glow from above. For a heartbeat, I thought I sensed movement, the subtlest ripple in the shadow. I leaned closer, curiosity and terror warring in my chest, and that's when I felt it, the soft brush of breath against my wrist. I jerked back, stumbling into the bed. Silence followed, absolute, oppressive. The next moment, my phone pinged with a message, though I'd left it in the kitchen. My chest tightened. It felt wrong, as though the house itself had shifted. I fled the room, leaving the door ajar and the candle guttering behind me. I spent the rest of the night on the couch, watching the living room walls with bleary eyes, listening for any hint of its return. But morning came, pale and unassuming. Sunlight slipped through the curtains, dissipating the shadows as though they were nothing more than a bad dream. Now I stand at the edge of that bed each night, torch in hand, willing myself to confront the unseen. I know it waits beneath, patient and patient, because the emptiness calls to me as much as it calls to you right now. I can feel it, coaxing you to lean in closer, to believe. But take heed. Some whispers are meant to haunt you until you shatter, and some presences never let you go. And as you settle in tonight, remember, under your bed, in the silent dark, a faceless voice may already be beckoning. And so, as the last echo of that single word faded into the darkness beneath my bed, I lay there wondering if, or when, it would return. But if you felt that chill run down your spine, you're not alone. Tap the like button to let me know you're still with me, and subscribe so you never miss the next whisper lurking just beyond the light. Sweet dreams, if you can.